Hello.
Too soon.
Too soon.
There you
Hello,
go.
sir.
We're running. Hello, he said. So as I said in an earlier video, I would be picking up some stuff in Rotterdam. And that has to fit in that little car. Wish us luck. I didn't think this would be possible, but there was a pile of crap there. And I've done some tuning to my car. As you can see, it's significantly lowered.
Ja?
Huh?
Ja?
Huh?
Ah. Hebben we maar weer gered.
We saved the jukebox from the trash. We asked nicely. They said no, and then they grabbed it for us. So that was great.
They trash everything here.
Can you hold it upside down again?
Also my speakers.
Yeah, it needs a little work. Anyway, you're going elsewhere. I'm going to take this very heavily loaded car to the center of Rotterdam for a stroll. I'm going to have to be honest with you. Some of the audio that was in that car has already been redistributed because I needed it right away. But there's plenty left. The downside is it's quite a lot of speakers, so I'm going to try and mix it a bit so it's not just speakers you're going to look at. We're starting with speakers for that reason, and these are little Philips speakers from a relatively serious stereo system with a dome tweeter in front of the woofer, not coaxial, just in front of it. How do they sound? I have no idea. I still have no idea because I don't hear anything. Ah! I lost my royalty-free music playlist that I was making, so I just grabbed the random chill royalty-free music playlist. Issue with the chill music is that there's usually no highs in it. This song had highs, and they were a bit harsh, but actually quite alright, and they have pretty nice low end for their small size. Looks good too. Lovely for an affordable stereo rig. Someone paid $5.95 for these at some point, so I guess that's a thrift shop sticker. Next! I moved you a bit because you're in the way. Next up is a JVC record player. It doesn't have a stylus. Does it have a belt? It does have a belt. And it comes with one of those plugs that goes into a stereo system. So we're going to splice actually a Bose adapter to it. It's 12 volts. It should work. Let's see. Thing with these, it's kind of hard to figure out what the polarity should be. So what I tend to do is make it so it should run, plug it in and see if it rotates the correct way. It goes the wrong way, so polarity is the wrong way around. Now, within that second that it just ran, it could have fried the motor control and everything. So let's hope everything's still alright. And let's put the wires the other way around, because apparently that was the wrong way. And hope that everything is still hunky-dory. Here we go, now it should spin the right way. And there we go, forward. Let's see if it still makes any sense speed-wise. Gotta turn this off, otherwise I can't see my light. That is indeed 45, and this is 33. It's running a bit faster, but barely. I should have a stylus for one of those. I think it's just an Audio-Technica one. Let's see. If it fits, it sits. Here we go. I think it sits. Let's hook it up to the system, because I haven't done that yet, actually. I see 2 channels, and I hear no buzz, so this should just work. And here goes. Does the auto return work? Yes, it does. It does also work at the end of the record. Yes, it does. So, yeah, it says hobby €5. I guess it's euros. It just says 5. All it needed was a stylus and a power supply, so nothing's really broken on this one. That's awesome. I got the next pair of speakers, and I'm not sure what's going on here, but they have 2 of these together. I never know what these are called in English. With pins in between, and I why? Either way. Let me splice these to the cable, because they have a fixed cable, but it's very short. I'm actually going to do these one by one, because I don't want to have to do all of the work. We should get some music if I turn the volume up. Let's try that again. I hear some hiss and popping, but no. Did I pause the music? Turns out I paused the music. Well, here goes. Except for the slightly hollow lows, that's actually not even that bad. these sound alright. And these Philips, the simple Philipses, tend to just sound alright actually. They never really disappoint. Let's see how this one sounds. Does the job just fine. Quite loud, but that was not the speaker's fault. That was because I put the fader on the mixer all the way up. I cannot take the covers off, but they are just simple three-way speakers that will make someone quite happy for virtually no money. Are they actually three-way? Yeah, that looks like it might be a tweeter. It may be a two-way with a fake tweeter actually, because I don't think there's anything there, but they work. My speaker wires got annoyingly fluffy, and I keep having to re-strip them, so I figured, you know what, I'm just going to put some solder on them. So they will hopefully work for a bit longer, because these things, I go through them like mad. Now here's something we cannot fully test. It's a pair of Audac active speakers, and the cable that goes between the speakers isn't with them, so it has a very proprietary plug. It's not that proprietary actually, it has a pretty specific plug. But we can test this one and see if it works, and then test the other one just with an amplifier, because it's just a passive speaker, the other one, and see if it works, and then hopefully the amplifier in this will also power the other one, but we'll have to test that some other day. Oh, slightly scratchy pots. Do we have something with highs? Yes, here we are. It has treble and bass in the back, and a slightly scratchy volume port. Not a big deal. There we are. It has two tweeters, and to be honest, I don't think any of them are working. But yeah, it still sounds alright, to be honest, with no tweeters. Surprisingly so. That's a pretty nice woofer, and actually a very solid sound it's producing. I will look into the tweeter some other day, but I feel like there's something missing in the highs. And then there's the other one, which can then prove to us that something was indeed missing. Let's plug this one in, see what we get. Sounds pretty much the same. It's almost like this speaker just doesn't have highs. So either the tweeters are blown on both, or these just have fake tweeters, because everything is coming from the mid-low unit. I'm not sure if I can get this cover off and have a look. Okay, so what do we have here? There's two tweeters here. They seem to be doing absolutely nothing. It is doing something, but that's very little. That's mostly a full range unit. That's the least enthusiastic tweeters I've heard in a very long time. They're very pleasant sounding though, also probably because the cheap tweeters aren't working. Bit weird, but still very usable for people who don't particularly like transparent highs. Now, getting this back on is always a challenge. These grills are, I think, the worst option. Because when you take them off, they always bend a little, and then you have to bend them back into shape to get them back on, and I absolutely loathe them, but there you go. Welcome to the 90s, kids! It's a Philips, I can't say Discman, because that's officially a Sony brand, like Walkman, or TomTom is also not a Sony brand, but a designated brand. But this is a portable CD player by Philips. Feels very heavy. Is there batteries in it? No, there's not. I'm not sure if that was supposed to come off, but hey, it still closes. Let's put some batteries in and see if this still plays. I love that it still has the box. That's awesome. Does it power on? We're about to find out. It does. It does power on. So let's put our royalty-free music CD in there and see if it can read that. Spinning up. No disc. Yeah, okay. So it cannot. It actually looks, the lens looks clean. So let's try an original disc. No disc. Oh boy. Well, let's give it a clean anyway then. It doesn't look dirty at all. I don't think this is the issue, but well, I may as well make sure it's squeaky clean. Give it one more shot. Play. I don't think it's even spinning, to be honest. No disc. No, it's not even spinning. So that's sometimes it's the lid when it thinks it's not closed. Software is working otherwise. No disc. No. This one's toast, unfortunately. That's a pity because it would have been kind of cool. Especially since it's all in the box and nice and everything. What does it come with? It says it's Philips, inventor of CD and DCC. Like DCC was such a great idea. Eh? It's literally like new in here. Even the little baggie the player once came in is there. Which I'm going to put it in now. Ooh, caught it. That's a pity, it's broken, it's going back in its baggie. How much volt is this? How many volts is this power supply? 6 or so? 4.5, yeah, makes sense. What's this then? Ooh, mini jack to RCA. That's not supposed to come with that, that's staying with me, that's useful. At least I got something from this. CD player back, booklet back, that's not gonna fit. But this is. Such a pity. Troubleshooting. Yeah, you have to check if a CD is inserted. It was. I just realized I forgot to turn the light back on. Now, you've seen these many times before. These have a slightly different tone of brown. I'm not sure if that's intentional. Let's see if they work. They usually just do. Yeah, all good. Nice little speakers. Ideal for a small form factor setup because they actually sound pretty serious for their size. And these are in quite good shape. The covers always break, so they don't clamp down perfectly anymore. These still sort of do, but you can see they're... I would leave them on there if I were you, whoever you may be. Next up is this Denon amplifier, and it is the PMA 717. I went back to my regular royalty-free music because I kind of like to know what's coming for this kind of stuff. So let's see, I hooked it up to a tuner, which is there. Do we get sound? So far we get nothing. Is there a reason for that? Well, yeah. The amplifier's not on, even though I did plug it in. Oh, apparently it wasn't turned on. That's even worse. Of course, scratchy ports. Both channels, eyes. Okay, does the phono preamp work? It does. And then there's an auxiliary input as well. That's this one, let's try that as well while we're at it. Cue the music. Seems fully functional, but I'm gonna be honest, it sounds horrible. I'm actually surprised how not good this Denon sounds. Maybe if it plays for a little longer, it'll get better, but ooh, it's very shrill and harsh. It says Denon on it though, so you sort of expect better, right? Real-time audio technology. There's a lot of bullshit on this one as well. Pre/main amplifier. It doesn't have a pre-out, so it's just an integrated amplifier. But then it has an MMMC phono preamp. This is meant to be serious. But there's a lot of nonsense on it. Again, why does this say input display? Of course, I figured it tells you what the input is on. And why does it say pre-main amplifier instead of integrated amplifier? Very confused by this one. Maurice picked these Yamo Power 70s up from a thrift shop, thinking they may be something special because he saw the horn. But I noticed the model number started with LS70 I think it is, and it says made in Denmark. So I think this is just another one of those cheap Yamo clones. He wasn't too impressed with how they sound. The thrift shop really wanted to make sure we knew what the price was, 16.5 euros. Usually I wouldn't want to give that much for these, but they're in really good shape, so you know someone's going to be happy for them with them for 16.5 euros. Let's see if they sound any good. I don't expect much. Oh, that's very bad. Yeah. in case you think to yourself, well, it sounds like a horn because it's a horn, all of the annoying horny-like sound, horny, yes, comes from the woofer. That only does the highest highs. They're really bad, actually. They're really unpleasant as well. Looks like a cheap speaker, sounds like a cheap speaker. Oh well, the Yamo Power 70. Yamo is even shittier, brother. I'm gonna put you down a bit because you can barely see this right Yamo. They do look quite good though. They're quite pretty looking. I don't hate that. You see the back? Here's the back. Yamo LS70W. 70 watts. It needs 2.5 watts, apparently. And apparently they do 42 to 20,000 hertz. I can assure you they don't do 20,000 and they get nowhere under 65, but numbers don't mean much. The thrift shop where Maurice got this Aristona 0840, actually the model number starts with a 0, wrote half a book on the cover. I will need to get this off somehow, but I'm going to read it out to you first. Obviously it's in Dutch. I'm going to read you literally what it says. First of all, it was 7.5 euros. The stylus alone is worth more, so safe bet. Aristona Combi, FM is okay, amplifier okay, record player works well, just the auto stop is defective, so you need to put it back by hand, without speakers. So, these have indeed, oh god, they taped it shut, I hate when they do that, but I get why they do it, because people steal styli. These indeed have auto shut off, not auto stop, or not auto return. So, they don't actually go back. So if this thing just stops, that is all it has to do. And probably the person just didn't know that's all it needs to do. And it's actually a very simple machine made to look relatively fancy. Volume down, balance in the middle, power on. This lights up nicely. Do we have radio? Let's see. FM. Well. No antenna, of course. Ja.
Und jetzt sind wir in der Rückblende.
Maandag zijn we het kwartier.
Not receiving any stereo because we have no antenna. The record player just started running, that means it was already on. Does it stop? It does stop. Something's indeed not quite right there. This doesn't feel good. Ooh. Okay, you can do this. Yeah. Okay, it's running now. Something's not quite right. We need to figure this out. But let's see if it produces sound. Probably does. Barely. What's going on here? The usual? Yeah, the usual. Let me get a glass fiber pen. These cartridges do tend to break, but often it's just dirty contact pads and springs. So we clean these. We clean, you can barely see what I do, but we clean these. And then more often than not it just works. Not quite happy. We have one channel. Can we get the other channel to work? I think we can. Ooh, there it was. There we are. 2 channels. This stylus definitely needs love. The shut-off probably doesn't do anything right now. Oh, it did. Oh, and now it turns back. It shouldn't be doing that, obviously. Ooh, something's really not happy. So something is not quite as it should be. Where's the little pin? There's the little pin. What's happening here? You know, this problem is most likely mechanical and fixable. Okay, we're gonna have to open this one up and figure it out, but I think it's gonna be just okay. It's a bit more than they said it was, but and the motor really wants some oil, but this one's gonna be fine. These sound pretty good actually, especially for what it is. Ah, it just shut off, I think. No, it still doesn't. No, it did. No, it still doesn't. Now it did. Sort of, not quite. It's not happy. Hello, it's been some time since you saw me in the kitchen, but here I am again, editing at the bar. So I missed a video a couple of weeks ago, which was actually good timing because I was on a trip with my girlfriend last week. She is doing a solo trip through France, but the first bit was a bit intimidating to her because of the long driving distances. As she never did a lot of driving. She's a great driver, but she never did a lot of driving like that, and I have no issue doing long distance driving. So I drove her mostly to Nice, and then I took a plane back. A train would take a bit long. A plane back from Nice to Eindhoven, where I landed last Sunday. It's now Thursday. And we had a great time. We drove through Belgium and through Germany, Switzerland, Italy, all the way to the south of France. We did that all in 5 days, which was not enough to see a lot, but just enough to have a bit of a holiday feel. And then I flew back, and she'll be back next month. Yeah, plenty of time to edit now. I plan to do a video intro in the Swiss mountains, but of course I forgot. So here's some imagery, as you have been looking at, to sort of join in on our trip. It has been great. And I'm back at it again, doing video stuff. Hope you enjoyed this one. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun one. And there will be more of this series because this is only 12 clips and this series has 39.